How's it going, everyone? My name is Parsa and I'm joined here today with my co-host TJ. We're recording from the Saskatoon YMCA and are excited to present to you our second United Platform podcast. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that we're on Treaty 6 territory, the traditional homeland of the Métis. Reconciliation of our past is the first step to moving forward. Before we get started, let's talk about who we are and what we do. TJ?
We are both part of UP, the United Platform of Social Justice for the People of Saskatchewan. Now, UP is a network that unites various social justice organizations in order to build a stronger base of community services provided to the people of Saskatoon. By combining the multiple programs' efforts, we hope to significantly amplify the influence of their services in our community. Ultimately, we hope that the United Platform can provide a safe place for organizations to come together, bringing their unique perspectives to create unison in our community. So, what are we doing here today, Parsa?
We're going to start this podcast with the goal of raising awareness about issues and events prevalent to our community and beyond. Through this, we hope to encourage globally aware and well-rounded citizens so that we can all make thoughtful decisions that not only benefit us, but the people around us. We'll be introducing activist organizations and that are doing their part to eliminate or reduce issues present locally.
So, what is the issue we're talking about today? Well, we're talking about mental health. So, mental health includes our emotional, physiological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also determines how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. Mental health must not be neglected at any point in life. People struggling with mental health, their thinking, mood, and behavior could be affected severely. Many factors can play a role in one's mental health, such as our gene biology, brain chemistry, life experiences, and traumas.
Yeah, and due to COVID-19, lots of students all over the world have been forced to isolate themselves from their parents and their loved ones. This has to be a tremendous amount of stress on the students, and they also have to get over the challenge of online classes and studies at home. Isolation has harmed both mental and physical capabilities of the student, as most of the students have no space to stay active or relieve stress. Students have gone through a lot of stress because they have no chance to see their friends, their favorite class, or their favorite teacher, and it has been difficult to get help from the teacher online, and many teachers have had a hard time switching to online. Many students have learned to take care of their mental health in 2020. Many of them have learned it the hard way.
So, Parsa, why is this important? How us youth are feeling about going back to school is very important. It may only be one small part of our life, but school is our quote-unquote job. We go there just about every day, and with any job, you should feel safe working here.
School is also very important for development as well as your mental health. It's one of the main places where we learn about ourselves, whether it be where we would like to do when we're older or what kind of friends we want to make.
Yeah, many of us struggle with mental health issues, whether it be stressing about grades, not having many friends, or even wondering about what we're going to do once school ends. And this is not even considering the pandemic.
Yeah, and we've already experienced a year of COVID at school, but there are some new variables that are disrupting the routine that we had last year. Restrictions are being lifted, we have vaccine, and there's a new Delta variant.
We always like certainty in our world, and right now, very few things are. This can create an anxiety in us. Even if most of us can get vaccinated, we have fear over those who cannot or at a higher risk. Younger siblings, those who have had diabetes or autoimmune diseases, or even those who just choose not to get the vaccine. This can cause many people to worry about spreading it to them.
Some people may not be too concerned about the virus and may just be thinking about how normal school is going to be. Being able to talk to friends at lunch, having clubs or sports are people's main way to socialize at school, relieve stress, and have fun.
And since we haven't done this for a while, many might be feeling anxious or shy about school going back to normal. This is why it's important to talk about the ways to make this transition as smooth as possible. So Parsa, how do you feel about going back to school?
It's awful. I really don't want to go back to school. I'll be honest with you, TJ.
Why is that?
I had a lot of stress last year. I had to deal with COVID-19, and I also had math and physics piled on top of that.
Oh, of course, in the Quinn system, and you had to quarantine and all that. That must have been really hard on you.
Yeah, we had 2 classes that we went back to back in, and it was 2 of the hardest classes.
Yeah.
And both of them we had to do the whole class, but there was also an extension where we had to write a paper that was called an IA on it.
Yeah.
So it put a lot more stress on you.
I agree, man. I was going through the same situation. You know, we had to quarantine for our math final. We had to have physics and math piled up on top of each other. The whole year was in the quint system. We had to learn a whole year's worth of curriculum in about 2 months. It was pretty messed up.
I remember in some classes like bio, there was so much information packed in such a short time that you just couldn't remember everything.
I agree. It was really tough memorizing everything. That's basically the basis of the whole class. So Parsa, let's ask some of our fellow UP members on their thoughts about going back to school. So Nada, how do you feel about going back to school?
Honestly, I'm pretty excited. This is my grade 12 year, and I think I'll get to enjoy all the moments that I missed out on because of COVID.
So is there anything like really specific or like in particular that you're looking forward to?
Looking forward to sports. I'm looking forward to regaining school spirit and just being more involved in general.
So like COVID wise or like pandemic wise and even like mental health wise, do you feel safe going back to school?
I do. It's because I trust that the teachers and the staff are going to do their best to prioritize like student health. And I think if anything were to go wrong or like our health is jeopardized, they'll let us know and they'll make like the best decisions with our interests in mind. So yeah.
And so like currently right now we're like looking towards the school year. Are you doing anything in particular to support your mental health?
I say I'm trying to like keep a routine, keep a schedule, and like just stick with things that I like doing. So that it feels pretty normal.
Do you have any words of advice or any messages for anyone nervous about going back?
I'd say I feel like if you're a senior, like try to cherish the moments when you go back to school, and like don't take the little things for granted. It's like go to games, like be more engaged in school, don't skip class, and it's those little things that you'll look back and like you'll wish like you really did participate in.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes we miss out on the best parts. All right, thank you, Nana, for helping us out with this interview.
Thanks for having me.
Hey guys, I'm back with my guest. This is Brom, and I'm going to be interviewing him about some stuff related to school. So Brom, how are you feeling about going back to school?
You know, it's kind of like bittersweet, right? I'm excited to get back to school, like a somewhat normal year. Like the blended learning last year was just like really bad, right? But also like, I'm kind of nervous. It's senior year, everything's gonna be harder. We're gonna have less time to, enjoy it.
Yeah, and we're doing a new quarter system, is that right?
Yeah, it's like quads, and I think I don't know exactly how it works, but I'm hoping it'll be better than the quiz. I know that's quite stressful on the students, especially also like the teachers.
Yeah. Okay, and is there anything that you're looking forward to particularly?
Honestly, just being in one class and not having like our class split up, because kind of like with our class, like how there's day 1 and day 2. A lot of my friends were on the other day,
Yeah.
so I'm kind of excited to be in one classroom environment with them again. And it's kind of just like weird when there's like 5 or 6 students in front of a teacher, and just a weird dynamic.
Some people enjoyed online school and some people really didn't like it. What was your thoughts on that?
It just isn't for me. I think like that much independent learning, I just can't focus. Can't stay motivated. So I'm excited to get back into a somewhat normal classroom setting.
Okay, and this is your last year at high school. How do you think school has affected you and how you're feeling about it?
School has really like helped me mature in terms of tackling responsibilities and actually, being productive.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Do you have any messages for anyone nervous about going back?
I mean, honestly, if you're nervous, just remember we used to do this. We've been doing this for the past like decade, right? Last few years might have been a bit weird, but just remember you've done this before. You can do it again.
That was our guest, Brom. Thank you for coming. That was a wonderful interview from Nada and Brom, and I'd like to personally thank them again.
So let's talk about coping mechanisms and resources for help for students struggling with mental health. What do you think about it?
One thing I personally did to cope with lots of stress is I played music a lot, and that helped me de-stress. What about you, TJ? Because I know you de-stress differently.
Yeah, I kind of did the same thing with music, like just going home every day and going and just like channeling my energy all into the music and like closing my eyes and playing. It really helped me like take everything out, helped me de-stress, and also playing sports. Once you like hit the core, like go on the field, like everything kind of just melts away in your mind. You just focus on the game, and that's just really important to have that escape. And so I think that people find that more often. It'll be really helpful to take their mind off their stress and anxiety.
Yeah, it's been also like scientifically proven that exercise like releases endorphins and it helps you feel better as well. Something else that helps you feel better is hanging out with friends. We couldn't really do a lot of that last year, but I like coming back to school. That's gonna help a lot with the stress.
Yeah, I agree. Like already, I'm part of SRC, so we're already planning like mixers and ways for students to come together, even if it's on like a smaller scale than it usually has. Like we're able to put on these little functions just so students can get together, they can be together, they can make friends. Because that was really non-existent last year. You were kind of just on your own. And on that note, like on that note of school, it's really important for your mental health to keep a schedule. Like school, it always keeps us organized. Like we have a specific set schedule for our entire day. But once summer hits and once like COVID hit, like we were all on our own, like online at home. Like we weren't really like forced to do that. So I think that took a toll on people. Like they started like fading away and waking up late, and that's just really not good for you as a human. So guys, if you're ever in a mental health crisis or you're feeling overwhelmed with your anxiety or any crisis, there are many options available. You can call the Saskatchewan Crisis Line at 306-525-5333. You can also have an option to contact text line running 24/7 Canada-wide for youth. For English-speaking crisis responder text, connect at 686868. For French-speaking crisis responder, text Parlor at 686868.
In conclusion, the information portrayed in this podcast is provided in order to shine a light on mental health.
We hope you enjoyed the second installment of our podcast, and we thank you for listening.